بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وكونوا مع الصادقين صدق الله العظيم. Verse 119 of Surah At-Tawbah. One is in the context of what we discussed last week of the three Sahaba who stayed away from Tabuk. So in that context, O believers, O you who believe, ittaqullah, adopt the taqwa, consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and be with those that are sadiq and truthful. In that context, it would mean that those Sahaba whom they are being told that be with or be amongst Rasulullah and those that did partake in Tabuk. But more broader than that as well, and it's not specific to that incident or any particular incident or any particular sadiq. The ayat of the Quran Kareem, one is in the context in which they're revealed. But beyond that as well, there's an application to that. The Quran Kareem is living till the Day of Judgment. So the 2 points that are mentioned here, they are also connected to one another. They complement one another. The 2 points that are mentioned in the ayah of adopting taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and being with those that are sadiq, those that are truthful. What does it mean sadiq? Yani what you say is what you do. What is in your heart is shown in your actions as well. Truth means what? For someone who is truthful, that on the one hand you say that I believe in Allah, I love Rasulullah, I say that there is a day of judgment, but then the person's actions all show that he's going the other way. That's not very truthful then, is it? If you really feel that there is a day of judgment, that you really say that you have Muhammadur Rasulullah, and even outside the context of religiosity, and if someone says one thing and they do the complete opposite, then that doesn't show the person in his actions is very truthful. So what is in his heart is on his tongue. What is on his tongue, his actions affirm that that is really what he is saying, that's really what he believes in. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, at the end of Surah Hujurat, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. The believers are those who believe in Allah and His Rasul. ثُمَّ لَمْ يَرْتَابُوا, and they have no doubts about this. Then what does it say? وَجَاهَدُوا بِأَمْوَالِهِمْ وَأَنفُسِهِمْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Then they struggle, they engage in jihad بِأَمْوَالِهِمْ, with their wealth, with their lives, فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الصَّادِقُونَ. The Quran says, those are the ones that are really sadiq. Yani iman in Allah and Rasul, with yaqeen, no doubt, no shak in that. Then, wajahadu. If you really believe in it, then if it comes time to struggle, then you have to struggle for that. Someone say, I love my family. Okay, you have to wake up in the morning, go to work, sleep all day, but I love them. I love my kids. Okay, so you have to do the tarbiyah, nurture, work for them as well. You have to do these things. No, I love them, but I won't do any of that. So the same thing, Quran came saying, no, mu'minun, you have iman in Allah and Rasul, and there's times you have to struggle for that. It comes in different ways. Sometimes you have to spend for it. Just like you say, if you love someone, then you have to spend on them. I love my parents, they're old, they can't work, but I don't know, money, when it comes to money, I won't give. So the same thing comes with deen. Where the call is made for amwal, then they give their amwal, they spend also. If it means that they sacrifice their time, then so be it. If it's their energy, then so be it. And if it comes to their lives, then so be that as well. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الصَّادِقُونَ. Those are the ones that are truthful. Their iman isn't mere, and over here, we have an expression, they say, put your money where your mouth is. Right? They say in English, say, put your money where your mouth is. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الصَّادِقُونَ. If you say you have iman in Allah, then you have to work towards that. So the Quran Kareem is saying, اتقوا الله, that adopt the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and be with those that are sadiq. They're truthful in this meaning. They're truthful in this meaning. Now these are both also connected. That when one adopts, or one way of adopting the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being with such people. Being around a people, that is what gives you, that's the best way of learning something. If you want to learn medicine, then it's a good idea to be around those that are in that field. What do they say? That's called a medical. You go to a medical school. If you want to learn law, then you go to a law school, right? You want to learn a certain trade, then you stay with that person. There's an idea of apprenticeship, whether you go through apprenticeship or not. Anything a person wants to learn, the fastest, easiest, most accurate way, and the safest way is to be with an individual or many individuals who are in that field, or who know that, who've been through that. So one of the best ways for adopting taqwa is with those that have taqwa. In other words, those that are sadiq, that you learn what it means to be taqwa. Or when you are not, that they will remind you of that. And then when you are with them, then it helps in that taqwa as well. Ittaqullah wa kunu ma'as-sadiqin. And if you're going to be with them, what will they tell you about taqwa? Obviously, if they themselves are sadiq, they won't tell you to do otherwise. So you see how these two commands and qualities complement one another. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَكُونُوا مَعَ الصَّادِقِينَ. That person, if he adopts the taqwa, that's why the Quran Kareem, which we recite Surah Fatiha, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم, that guide us to the straight path. So how is the straight path described to us? It's not mere artificial, or it's not something which is merely theoretical. It's a very practical way the Quran explains it, which is what? صِرَاطَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ. The path of those whom you have shown your in'am upon, your ni'mah and your blessings, and you've enamored them and favored them. And then that's explained elsewhere in the Quran, مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ صِدِّيقِينَ وَشُهَدَاءِ وَصَالِحِينَ. Meaning the way you'll recognize the right path is الَّذِينَ. There's a human entity that comes in the middle. الَّذِينَ. You have to be with those people to understand that surah. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that He sends a Nabi with the Kitabullah. It sends a Rasul with the message. So merely giving a book to a people, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never did. What did happen that sometimes a Nabi was given but a book was not given. That's possible. The other way around is not possible. That a book is given and no teacher. But if you have a teacher, you may not even need a book. That's possible. Ittaqullah, understanding taqwa, applying taqwa, adopting taqwa, all of that, it's next to impossible without being around someone who doesn't have to. And they'll complement that. Ittaqullaha wa kunu ma'as sadiqin. So now what does this mean, kunu ma'as sadiqin, as we explained to? Now in each place a person has to try to adopt that kind of suhbah. The Sahaba radiallahu anhu, why are they called Sahaba? Why didn't that group who was with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, why did Rasulullah himself, or why does the Muslim Ummah not call them some other name? Why don't we call them the Muttaqun Jama'ah? Theoretically, rationally, you could have given any other title to them, good qualities as well. But the Sahaba were called Sahaba for what reason? It's about the suhbah. Suhbah means companionship. That's not something which can be replaced. Rationally, theoretically, it's possible that as an individual, we can do more dhikr than any one of them. That's possible. For example, you sit one day and a million times you do dhikr. Very possible. It's even possible you read more Quran than them. It's possible that you fast more than them. For example, some Sahaba, if they didn't fast Som Dawood or Som Dawood, then a person can fast more. That's possible. But what will never be achieved is that companionship of Rasulullah, because that was only until Rasulullah was there. That's not something which can be substituted in any way. And that suhbah, that companionship, is enough to say that until the Day of Judgment, no one will be able to compare with them who does not have the same suhbah. So it's in the companionship. The barakah, the blessing of companionship is something which cannot be replaced. So one is that's love of Suhbatul Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That's obviously the same idea. I'm showing what I'm saying is the necessity. Not even this isn't something which is kind of it's something extra. Just preferably, yeah, you do it very good. You don't do it. No. This is something you have to see as necessary. That a person must adopt companionship, suhbah of those that are going to help one in their deen. And even those that are, especially those that want to serve the deen. Because necessarily when you want to serve the deen and you will engage with people, you will not engage with people who are very quote-unquote religious. Obviously, that's something that's going to happen. You may have to talk to someone who doesn't even pray salah. You may engage with someone who may not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the only way you bring that strength in your own iman, in your own ruhaniyat and spirituality, is when you yourself first stay in such a suhbah, such a companionship, such a majlis, such a community that helps strengthen your own self. Then you can have the strength, and that allows for a person to continue serving the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and whatever other services a person wants to give. We make dua that Allah ta'ala gives us understanding of the Quran Kareem. And this being, one last point, this being the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us one more thing. That this is possible ila yawm al-qiyamah, until the day of judgment. Meaning don't say, oh no, there's no one good around here. That means you're belying the Quran Kareem. If the Quran is there and telling you have to do this, that means it has to be possible to be done as well. The Quran doesn't tell anyone to do anything which is impossible. So that means there must be people who are there. Now, the people who are there doesn't mean those are perfect people. There's a point that we need to understand. Nor do we need to compare them to someone who is from the first century of Islam. When Junaid Baghdadi, until he doesn't come, we're not going to be with anyone. Until it's Hassan Basri, we don't find someone like that, we're not. That's not how it works. Just like you and I are not at that level, we shouldn't expect someone else to be like that as well. So it's not that, either you have everything or you have nothing. That's not how it works. Whatever is there, a person tries to benefit from that. If, for example, if it's dark, lights out, thunderstorm came, so your electricity, your lights are out. So what are you going to say? Until I don't have electricity, I won't use anything? Take out your flashlight. Take out a candle. Whatever you have, use. That's the logical thing a person does in this world, right? That if you have a light jacket and it's windy, well, you still use that one. If you don't have a bigger jacket, use the lighter jacket. So what you have to your disposal, so to say, available to you, that's what a person uses. So this is another trick of shaitan. Oh, there's no one is good anymore. But everyone is dad, everyone is deviated. There's no sadiq. Yeah, very possible. We can say no one is at the level of Sahaba, definitely aqidatan. No one's like Tabi'un, that's fine. There's no one's denying that. But that doesn't mean to say that there's no applicability to this ayah. Let me dua Allah Ta'ala gives us understanding.